Hi, my name is Deniece Hicks, and I am the owner of Caterpillar the Butterfly, which is a beginning nonprofit organization to help homeless families, singles also. I would like to start also a resource center to help out the families and also the public, the general public. My love for people is real, it's genuine, it's pure. Of course, God gave it to me. But I really love people. Like, I don't want to see no one without. Even if you're without on reasons of your own self, I still feel the need to help. I don't like to be, I don't like to shut doors in people's face. I like to give them a chance, even if it's over and over. That's just how I am. A little bit about myself. I was homeless several times, actually. No one really knows. But I had my first baby. You start off with a mixed crowd, then you move to a bigger crowd. That's not good enough. But I had my first child at 19, and I thought I was grown. So, of course, moved with my mom. I had to move back because his father, of course, wasn't there doing what he was supposed to do. So I moved on into my mother's house. Now, homeless doesn't always mean you're on the street. No clothes, no food. You can be homeless, going to school. You just don't have your own home. That's the real meaning of homeless. It's a severe homeless and it's homelessness. But at that age, I was. Then, I stayed with her for a while. And of course, we butted heads. But she told me, and one day she came home, and she told me she was moving, and she said, "What are you going to do?" And I looked like, I panicked. Because I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like, then the second thing that came to me was, God, hold up. I know what kind of God I serve. And I know, God, you got me. Faith was high. Even though I was in my mess, my faith was high. And so I had a job at the time, and I thought, God, what could I do to bring money into my household? So I brought on a roommate, which is my best friend. She's outside. So we began to have our own little apartment together. I then had another child, so we was all sharing a 2-bedroom apartment. And then she moved out. She got married. So when she got married, I was just there. By that time, I didn't have a job. So I stayed. God allowed me to stay in that apartment for almost a year and a half. No rent. The landlord didn't even know I was paying rent. Now that's favor. She didn't know I was paying not a lick of rent for a year and a half. So then I had another son about 9 months later from the middle one. And neither father was playing a role in the children's lives, so it was just all on me. They would here and there basically to show the children off, like birthday parties with their friends, they'll get the kids. But other than that, it was on me. So after that, I got an eviction notice late December of 2010, and they normally it's 30 days to evict you, but they gave me 9. And I'm like, again, like, God, you got me. Like, you got me. And everybody that I told, they kept telling me, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to trust God. The whole time, not one person I haven't told that. I'm going to trust God, I'm going to trust God. So even down to the day of, I'm going to trust God. And at this time, my mother had moved in with me because she was homeless at the time. So she moved in and we both were together at the time. And I had my 3 babies with me, alone. And up to the day of, and it was snowing. I remember that day. It was snowing. Like, I think we had a snowstorm. And still, we packed up that truck, because she has an F-150. We packed that truck up with everything we could and sat in the car and just drove. And we said, God, I trust you. And one of her friends popped up in her head. Her name was Miss Karen Jefferson. She's deceased now. But what Miss Karen does, she goes around feeding the homeless. And when we went to her house, we went immediately there to her house. She opened the door with no question, and she said, how long do you need? You can stay. And I was like, my God, God works fast and works miracles. So we stayed with her for about a couple of months, ended up turning into 2 years because she passed away. But while she was alive, we didn't know her house was going through foreclosure and everything like that with the bank. So she didn't tell us. But when she passed, her family allowed us to stay there until, I guess, the bank took over. So that was like the first time. But I'll tell you about Miss Karen. That's the first time I had my experience feeding homeless people. She invited me about when I was like 13, I believe. And I went out downtown Newport News and I helped her feed them, and I just fell in love. Like, if I could hug everybody in that room, I don't care if they were dirty. That doesn't bother me at all. I would have. I just love people. I can't even sit here and explain how much I do. I just do with an uncontrollable passion. Like, it's uncontrollable. Like, if I could shut it off, I wouldn't shut it off. But yeah. Alright, that was my first bout with homelessness. I stayed there. There I don't remember my age. I had to be about 23, I believe. But yeah, it was just me and my 3 boys, whom I love dearly. So, you know, as a 23-year-old woman, I always desired to be a wife. And I know that I had to lay down everything that I was doing in my power that could hinder me from getting what I wanted. So, of course, I fasted, I prayed, and I just asked God, you know, I'm seeking a husband. Bring him. So, you know, while staying faithful to God, you'll get what you want. He'll definitely reward you. So he did. I went to church one day, and my pastor told me, he said, where were you? Because I think I missed that Wednesday, and God had given a word for me that Wednesday. And he said, where were you? I meant to tell you that God said you're whole now, and he's sending you your husband. And I almost fell out in the floor. I was like, what? God? Like, really? Like, plainly and simple. Nothing else. No cover word. It was just the exact word that I wanted. And he told me that, and I was like, I was on cloud 9. Floating out of there. Like, I couldn't. And it took him, I don't even know the time he told me, but I met my husband in May. And we got married in October. That's how strong it was. Love, God, God first. But it's funny because my husband, we went to elementary school together, middle school together, high school together, and still never met. Still, I'm looking in the yearbook like, you are here every time. We were around each other the whole time. Yeah, it was amazing. And when I saw him, and actually the story went, I met him on ChristianMingle.com. Because, you know, I never tried that online. I heard it was kind of corny, but I was like, I didn't want nobody to know. But I'll still tell you, I met him on ChristianMingle.com. And I signed on. I was on it for about 2 days. I started feeling a little funny because I don't normally do this, so I shut my page down. Before I shut my page down, I sent a smile to him. Just a simple smile, hi, how you doing? But I shut my page down. Do you know he researched me on Facebook? He researched me on Facebook and found my name and sent me a message, and then that's when we began to talk. And then it's like, this woman, my mom, every guy I brought home, she did not like. The first time she met him, she said, there's something about him, he's different. He's different. And I knew it too. The first date we had, this man, he had such a loving spirit and gentle spirit. I just felt so comfortable as if years had passed, and he took me on a boat ride, which was so romantic to me, to the botanical gardens. And I just leaned up against him. I just felt so comfortable. But I just knew he was God sent, because one guy said he was coming. And then the spirit he holds, and just what I get off of him. And God let me know, okay, you're saved. So we got married. You know, he accepted my 3 boys as his own, and we in love. But yeah, and that's just not even a gist of my story, but that's a little bit about it. But, you know, going through, you know, when we got married, it seemed like everything just fell down. I mean, jobs, income. We were already in this house that wasn't our house. It was a woman's. So then the eviction notice came for that house, and we had to go in the hotel and then stay with his mom. And then we got a house that we couldn't afford for a whole year, but God provided, because often we paid rent, which was $10.25 a month twice. Landlord gives us beds, gives us tables while we owe him. And we didn't, you know, purposely not pay him. We just didn't have it, and it was a rush move because we had to get out of his mom's house. So we were homeless quite a bit. You know, we went through a whole lot. But now we're not. We have our own apartment. Bills being paid. God is being faithful, staying faithful. We're staying faithful to him. We've let in 2 families, a family of 3, stay in our 2-bedroom apartment. And then I've had my best friend stay with me. They were homeless. The other girl out there, they were homeless. But you know, I don't have a problem with it. And it's funny because my heart changed his heart. He was, you know, shaky about it at first. He didn't want to do it, but he often tells me I'm the type of person that it's like you want to tell the truth, but you don't want to break my heart because I'm too nice or something like that. He tell me I'm too gentle, but in a good way. But yeah, I just love people. And starting Caterpillar the Butterfly, I was actually in my kitchen in 2010, and God spoke to me directly, and he said, start your business. And I was like, it was so audible. I looked around like, hello? But I didn't do it until this year, but he's been blessing me this far, especially in meeting you girls.
Yeah.
You know, and God bless y'all mission, because I wish I could run off with you. I would.
So what is Caterpillar the Butterfly, all the things that you told us outside, and what is your dream to do with it?
Oh God. My dream to do this is so big. Eventually I want a shelter, not just one. I want international shelters everywhere for homeless families, because a lot of shelters kick the men out. They'll take the women and children, but they don't want the men in. And I feel like you shouldn't separate families. I feel like, you know, that man, they need that man. They need that father. Their families need to be together. It's also going to be for singles too. But that's what I want to take that with the shelter. But the resource center is a 2-part organization. It's going to be a resource center that's open up to the homeless families in the shelter and also to the general public. It'll host, you know, budgeting classes, stuff to keep you on your feet, budgeting, cooking, you know, hygiene, I have a whole list of classes that I want to offer, because people need to know what they can do to keep their life going. They need a start. It's people that's older than me that don't even have a start in life because they don't know where to go. And if I could help you just one time, that'll let you that'll last, you know, because some people homeless because of budgeting. They don't know how to budget their money. They don't know the difference between priorities and you know, and wants, needs and wants. So I'm there to help you in any way I can. And yes, I have started just with my own money, but I don't have a problem with it because I know it's going to a good cause. God already gave me a word, and he told me that what I'm doing is going to help so many people. It's going to set up my children's children and then on. It's going to set up families. It's just so many. He said it's so many people that he's going to help. And like, I'm about to cry now. I'm so sensitive. But that's what Caterpillar Butterfly is.
Awesome.